You see, learning to code and building projects for your portfolio is just the first step to becoming a software engineer. The second step, which is equally important, is building your communication skills and getting comfortable talking out loud about code, because your technical skills will help you to get the interview, but it's your communication skills that will actually help you to land the job. And that's why I make sure the students in my coding bootcamp schedule one-on-one sessions with me where they get to practice explaining the code on their projects out loud to me. And that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. You get to watch a one-on-one session I did with my student as he's practicing explaining one of the JavaScript algorithm problems I gave him to help him build his JavaScript skills. My name is TJ and I teach beginners how to code and help them get jobs as software engineers in my coding bootcamp. Check the video description for links to resources that will help you to start learning to code and to learn more about working with me as your mentor. Now, let's hop into that one-on-one session.
All right, so basically, as you mentioned, the objective here is we want to write a function that takes in two parameters, array and number, and return the first elements of that array. So pretty much what I did here is I created a variable based off the days of the week, and then down here is where I created my function to take in my two parameters, which is going to be the array of the number. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to set up test cases just in case the user entered in something incorrectly. I want to check to see if the array or number parameters has a value. Also, I want to see if the number entered was greater than 0. And also, I want to see if the number entered is greater than the length of the array. Now, as long as the other conditional statements are not true in my test cases, then it's going to return the array. And I wanted to use the slice method, which is going to start my element, well, it's going to start out the array at the first element. And then down here is where I log my results. So I pass through my argument here, and then depending on what number I put in here, it's going to give me these comments, this result here in my console log.
Awesome. I really like how you talk through this, even when
Mhm.
you were kind of sharing like your screen, you were like, oh,
Yeah,
like I'm sharing my screen, et cetera. Like all of those things are a lot better than just kind of sitting in silence, especially in the interview process. Just kind of talk out loud about what you're doing.
mhm.
Because if not, right, because I'm like over here, I don't know what you're doing,
Right.
so good stuff, man. Good job on this. You've really improved. Let's look at problem 4, to write a function that removes duplicate items from an array.
Okay. All right, let's go to that one. Problem 4. Okay, you can still see everything okay?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so as you mentioned, we want to create a function to remove the duplicate numbers from an array of numbers. So down here, I created my array of numbers, and within my function that I defined, I wanted to create a new variable which is going to store an empty array, which is why I have the empty brackets here, which is going to store our new array. And then down here, I created a for loop. So in my loop, it's going to loop through each element of the array, and it's going to add a new array only if the element is not already there. So
Mm,
that's why down here, for my if conditional statement, I have the exclamation point in front of my new array, dot includes, which basically means not include that array at
mm,
that particular counter. And
yep.
then it's going to return it down here. And then at the bottom is where I logged it.
Great job, man. Like I don't even have feedback. Good job. It's like really clear to see like the sharp improvement from the last session. So you really took that feedback and just kind of ran with it,
I
so
took it to
great
heart.
job. Huh?
I took it to heart.
Hey, bro. I mean, I'm glad that you did, because this is the most important part about being an engineer. Do you feel like you spending time learning to better talk about this is like helping you to actually better understand the code that you're writing?
Absolutely. And also too, just getting more familiar with, I know like one of the things I asked you about last in our last session was about how do you study?
Hmm.
And one thing I took from that was don't try to memorize everything.
Yeah,
And I'm starting to notice that the more code that I write, there's certain methods that we use multiple times. So whenever I'm like
exactly.
lost and I don't know what to use, I just Google it and say, oh, okay. And then I just
Hmm.
plug it in. I kind of play around with it to see what method works and what doesn't, and just kind of mess around with it.
That's good, man. Great job, bro. But I'm proud of you. Keep on pushing forward because once you finish this section in terms of the practice problems, I think all you have really left is recursion and objects, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So after that, module 4 doesn't have any tutorials. Like module 4 is just you building apps, just straight
gotcha.
up JavaScript applications. So I'm like really excited for that because you are going to be going from idea in your head to building a working application on your own. So that's what all of this is like building up to. Okay. All right,
Cool,
man.
cool.
Good job. That's it.
Awesome.
All right, man. Later. Do
Later.
you have any like questions or anything like that right now? Any blockers?
Oh no, no. Everything's going well so far. But of course, if I do, I'll reach out to you.
All right, bet. All right, man. We'll talk later, Whitney. Bye
All
bye.
right, man.
And that's it. So I hope you see just how important it is that you actually learn to get comfortable talking out loud about code because that's what the hiring manager is going to be looking for in the interview process. So this is something that you need to start practicing now so that you're not shocked when you actually get to interviews and see that this is what's required of you. So again, make sure you check the description below to learn more about learning to code with me as your mentor and to also find resources to help you on your coding journey.